6 years is a long time, long enough to build an entirely new life. Change your name, reinvent your future, and almost convince yourself that the past doesn't hold weight anymore. But the truth doesn't disappear. It waits, quietly, patiently, like a predator with claws dulled by time, but never broken. And when it strikes, it does so without warning. I had betrayed my husband, Daniel, not with a stranger, not in some moment of drunken recklessness, but with someone I should have never trusted, my boss, Richard. It was never meant to become anything real. It wasn't love, not even lust, not really. It was comfort dressed up as attention. It was feeling noticed at a time when I felt invisible. At the time, Daniel was working himself to exhaustion. 2 jobs, long nights, worn hands, quiet eyes. He was drained, distant, barely there. Richard, on the other hand, had charm laced with calculation. He knew the exact right words, the right pauses, the kind of eye contact that lingered just long enough to stir something in a person who was already crumbling. I mistook manipulation for affection, and in my loneliness, I let myself fall. The affair lasted 3 months. A flash fire, brief, destructive, and ultimately cold. I hadn't planned to tell Daniel. I don't think I would have ever had the courage. But the truth found its own way out. He found the messages. I still remember the way he stood there, quiet. He didn't raise his voice, didn't fall apart. He just packed a bag. I cried, begged, dropped to my knees. But Daniel, he didn't stay long enough to hear any of it. He left with the weight of my betrayal wrapped around his shoulders. 2 weeks later, divorce papers arrived. My hands trembled so violently I barely managed to sign them. It felt like signing a death certificate. Ours. By the time our marriage legally ended, Richard had already moved on to someone new at the office. There wasn't even a goodbye. He just stopped returning my calls. That's when the shame hit like a second wave. Not just the guilt of what I had done to Daniel, but the gutting realization that I had destroyed something sacred for nothing but an illusion. I left the job, moved to another city, tried to start over. But guilt clings like smoke. It seeps into everything. Every new apartment, every mirror, every smile I tried to wear like armor. I dated again. Nothing lasted. Every time someone came close to loving me, I found a way to destroy it before they could see the scars. Deep down, I believe I didn't deserve anything good. Not anymore. My nights were quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that hums like grief. Sometimes I close my eyes and see Daniel, his tired smile, the way he'd laugh when he didn't want to. I wondered if he was okay, if he had found someone gentle, if he'd rebuild a life without holes in it. I hoped he had. He deserved peace, even if I never would. And then, fate caught up with me in the most unexpected place, a business conference in Boston. I hadn't planned to go. It was one of those things you say yes to just to fill time. I was walking through the main floor, lost in some speech about market trends, when I saw him, across the room, standing taller than I remembered, sharper, older, but still Daniel. My breath caught in my throat. He was talking to someone relaxed, self-assured, like a man who had made peace with his past. I froze, heart slamming in my chest. Part of me wanted to run, just slip out a side door and vanish. But I didn't move. Then I made the mistake of turning a corner. He was there, right in front of me, his eyes locked onto mine. He didn't flinch, didn't blink, just looked. No anger, no surprise, just silence. "Hi, Daniel." I managed, barely a whisper. My voice cracked like glass under pressure. He gave a small nod. "Amanda," he said, and just my name was enough to send my stomach into knots. I expected him to walk away. Maybe I even wanted him to. But instead, he pointed toward a bench tucked near a quiet hallway. "You have 5 minutes," he said. We sat, both of us stiff, as if the air between us had never really settled. I struggled for words. My tongue felt thick, my throat tight. Everything I had rehearsed in my head over the years vanished. "I'm sorry," I finally said, voice thin. I wanted to say that for a long time. I didn't know if it would matter. He didn't respond at first. His eyes studied mine, calm, unreadable, but distant. "It mattered then," he said slowly. "Now I don't know." I nodded, barely holding back tears. I never stopped regretting it. Every day. He leaned back slightly, arms folding. Why did you do it? The question landed like a punch to the chest. I swallowed hard. I felt alone and visible. But that's not an excuse. You were killing yourself working for us, and You chose someone else, he said, finishing it for me. Yes, I admitted, feeling the shame all over again. And I lost everything. He looked away, jaw clenched. Do you still think about it? Every single day, I whispered. A long silence fell between us. People moved around us, but it all faded into background. It felt like the world had gone blurry, except for us. I'm married now, he said quietly. My heart gave a painful twist. I forced a smile. She's lucky. Her name's Alina, he said. We have a daughter. She's 5. That's beautiful, I replied, voice soft. Pain coiled in my chest, but I didn't let it show. He deserved that happiness. Then he looked at me, not unkindly, just steady. Did you ever love me, Amanda? Yes, I said without a second of doubt. I never stopped. He looked surprised, but not moved. Then why didn't you fight harder for us? I stared down at my hands. Because I thought I didn't deserve you anymore. He stood up slowly. Maybe you didn't, he said, his voice even, but I've made peace with it. I rose too, wiping the corner of my eye. I hope you're happy, Daniel. Truly. He gave a small nod. I am. I hope you find peace too. Then he walked away. No dramatic exit. No final look over his shoulder. Just quiet closure. I stood there for a long time, watching the space where he had disappeared, the weight of years finally beginning to loosen around my chest. Forgiveness doesn't always come in the words we hope to hear. Sometimes it lives in the silence, in the letting go, in the simple truth that some chapters close not with anger, but with understanding. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough.